when you guys do the hydrant portion of the evolution, you will always sit in this jump seat immediately behind the engineer. The engineer is what position? In the fire service.
The driver's
the person that drives it and operates the apparatus. Okay, the captain sits obviously opposite side in the front seat on the right side of the apparatus. Your two firefighters will sit in the jump seat, depending if you run a 4-man engine. Okay. This evolution here is going to simulate a firefighter and an engineer position. Okay. I don't want you guys to get focused on being an engineer, so to speak, saying, "Oh, I got to learn how to operate the pump." No, you guys are not here to operate the pumps in any way, shape, or form. We're just here to show you how to clamp a line and then establish a water supply to the apparatus where we will eventually discharge water. Okay?
Yes,
all right, so the first portion of this will be taking a hydrant or laying a line. You will be sitting in the jump seat right here. The apparatus will pull around, come around the hydrant, it will stop. You will know which side the hydrant's on. Obviously, the only reason I have that other hydrant sitting over there is I just want to show you can take a hydrant on the right side or the left side. It really doesn't matter. It has no indication on what side you're sitting on the apparatus. The hydrant person will always sit in this jump seat right here. Any questions on that?
Certainly. No, sir.
I will give you the order to lay a line. You will repeat that order. You'll turn back and you will say, "Laying a line." No questions on that so far?
No, sir.
All right. You're going to step off. You're going to come to this compartment because what is in here every single time? Hose clamp and hydrant wrench. Do I need to grab the hose clamp?
Sir, no, sir.
No. All you need to do is grab the hydrant wrench. As I come around, I'm going to visualize my fire hydrant. Why do you think I would do that?
So you can, sir,
What kind of?
what trained your case, sir, so you can get an idea of what you're working with, like make sure it's clear, no obstructions and stuff like that.
Around a service hydrant, very good. What else?
What diameter the hose do you use?
Okay, that's a big one too, right? What if I had a hydrant that only had two 2.5-inch outlets on it, or a single 2.5-inch outlet?
Got to get a Siamese.
Not a Siamese. An increaser. What size increaser?
Be a 2.5 to 4. So.
Very good. You have to put an increaser on it. Excellent. All right, so I visualize my hydrant. I see that there's no problem with the hydrant. Now, oftentimes you'll have an arsonist or somebody else that's vandalized the hydrant, right? They take the cap off and they beat the threads up real good. Those are things that I'm looking for, right? I take a quick look. I see my hydrant just fine. I step up onto the rig. I grab, usually there's a railing here. Obviously the railing's broken off. I grab the side of the apparatus. I take my hose. What I always like to do is, when I put this over my shoulder, is take a quick look to make sure I got my gasket intact. I shoulder the hose on what side?
Hydrant side.
Hydrant side. It doesn't matter which, whether it's right or left, you got to shoulder the hose on the hydrant side. Why do you think we do that? What do you have a tendency to do when you have hose on your shoulder?
Turn the other way, sir, as you're walking.
Well, you have a tendency to kind of look in that direction, right?
Yes, sir.
So if my hydrant's over here and I'm shouldering it this way, you just have a natural tendency to keep looking this way, looking at your hose and not paying attention to the hydrant. So by doing this, I'm looking at my hose, I'm controlling my coupling, I have my wrench in the other hand, and I can take a look at my hydrant and see what's going on. Questions so far? Okay, I'm gonna step off, hold on to the side here, step down, grab my wrench, and I'm gonna continue past the hydrant. I'm gonna look in front, looking at the hydrant. What do you think I'm looking for? 10 to 15 feet past the hydrant. How'd you guys know that already? All right. So you tell me when I'm 10 to 15 feet past. Okay. So then what do you think I'm going to do?
Keep your eye on the hydrant.
Keep my eye on the hydrant. Now, for you guys to understand how to wrap this hydrant, there's one or two things you can do. If you need to turn in the direction of the hydrant and completely walk around it, do that. Now, if there's bushes in the way, you can do it.
No, sir.
No, what would be an easier way to do it? Let me show you. Okay, so I go past the hydrant about 10 to 15 feet. I turn, I walk towards the hydrant, grab this first couple with my right hand and the wrench, grab myself a nice big loop right here. As I'll see that, get a nice big bite of hose. I come over to the barrel, I turn this way, I wrap it, and then I walk forward back in this direction here. I'm now going to come into the street. I'm going to fold my coupling underneath, just like this, okay? One foot in front of the other. I'm going to look in that mirror right there with the wrench in my right hand, and I'm going to say, lay a line, okay? The rig is then going to proceed on its way. So I'm going to have two hands out in front of me like this, okay? What would happen potentially if I did this?
Swing back at you, sir.
If that coupling gets hung up and this thing starts to pull away, this coupling's going to flip up and nail you right in the face. Okay, the whole idea is hold it underneath, lay a line. If it pulls away, let the coupling drop out in front of you there. If this pulls away because it gets hung up in the bed, what do you think you guys are going to do?
Yo, stop, sir.
Stop, sir.
You're going to drop everything. You're going to yell over here and say, stop, 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 or hold. Get the engineer's attention to stop. Do not try and run and grab that coupling, because what's this thing going to do?
Swing back around. Tighten up.
It's centrifugal force, right? You see how there's an X on the hydrant? We're trying to create friction right here. So if it does get hung up, hopefully it'll pull it out of there. But if you go chasing this thing's going to whip around aggressively and take you out and break your legs. If it gets hung up, let go of it, leave it. Questions so far?
Sir, that fold that you did, that's called the C fold, sir?
It's just a C fold, right? Because all we're doing is creating a letter C.
Okay, sir.
That you fold it underneath. Thumbs up. Don't stand like this. Why do we stand like this?
No, sir.
No balance. Stance, right? One foot in front of the other. Aggressively say lay a line. Don't take the wrench and throw it, right? You've seen that happen before, right? Get a firm grab. Lay a line. Exaggerate this motion with your hand, because the rig's running, sirens are going. I may not be able to hear you say lay a line, but I can see you go like that, right? One foot in front of the other. Now, when two couplings drop or the rig reaches its destination, okay, you hear the air brake. You can then unwrap the hydrant and make the hydrant, make the connection. Okay, so when we unwrap this coupling, grab it again with my right hand. Bring it in. Big bite of hose. I'm going to unwrap this way, and I'm going to take the hose, throw it out that way. I'm then going to lay my coupling right next to the hydrant. Now, do we ever straddle hose?
No, sir.
How come?
Bad habit, sir.
Well, not just a bad habit. What could potentially happen?
Fly up and hit
Take your feet out, sir.
Okay. What if that apparatus had stopped and then kept going, and then a coupling hung up? You see what I'm saying? This is going to wrap around your leg and take you out. So you always want to operate in a direction where you have a direct line of sight of your apparatus and what's going on. Okay, you will then come in, loosen the cap, immediately put the wrench on the back of the stem of the outlet you're opening. You're going to take the cap off, set it down right underneath. You're going to look at your threads. Threads all clear, no obstructions. Gasket, swivel, threads. You're then going to connect. And I'm looking to see what's going on down there. Does it make any sense for me to connect it this way?
Sir, no, sir.
sir.
Your back's to whatever's going on,
See
sir.
what's going on over there, right? So I come over this way. I make my connection. I can take my wrench. I can snug it up. Back on. And now I'm going to come over here to this loop. I'm going to pull it tight. And now once they call for water, I can charge this line. Any questions? Nothing at all? All right, let's go ahead and unload it. Let's reload this hose. You guys are all going to do it dry just like this. A little quicker. What can I do a little quicker?
You gotta
What?
observe your hydrant, sir.
I can see it, right? So as I'm driving up to it, I'm looking at it. I'm seeing my hydrant. I'm looking. I'm staring at my hydrant. I know I've got a good 4-inch outlet on there. It looks good. There's, you know what? Take that plastic cap off and put on that one, please. All right, somebody give me the order to lay a line.
Lay a line, lay a line.
Hang a line. I step off. Nothing changes. Always stepping off forward and looking at my hydrant. I already looked at it. Still looking. I grab my wrench. Still looking at my hydrant. I step up. Nothing changes. I now have the wrench in my left hand. coupling in my right shoulder on the hydrant side. Yes, no? Yes, sir. I'm gonna step off, and then I'll proceed past the hydrant 10 to 15 feet, just like you guys told me. Okay, tell me when I'm good.
Good, sir.
Okay, I'm then gonna turn in the direction of the hydrant. Nothing changes. The other way, I grab the coupling right behind it with my right hand and the wrench. This time it'll be my left hand. Okay, see that? As I'm walking, I get a nice big bite. I go past. I wrap. Walk forward. Nothing changes. See fold underneath. Right? Then one foot in front of the other, looking at the apparatus engineer, driving. Lay a line. Okay, the rig starts to go. One coupling drops. Do I do anything?
No, sir.
No. Second coupling drops, and then start to unwrap. Unfold, grab it, big bite, nothing changes. Spin it around. This way, I throw it out. Bring my coupling right in front here. Any questions? You guys all understand why we need that 6 to 10 foot tail off the hydrant when we unwrap it? Why do we need that?
Change the case, sir. So you have something to work with. If you don't have that, you're not going to be able to wrap it, sir.
Okay, well, you got to go 10 to 15 feet past, but why is it so important to have that extra hose once we actually wrap it and make that X?
That way when you take off, it's not yanking it so hard.
Okay, anybody else?
Slower sensor. Leverage.
So you have enough slack, sir, when connecting the couplings.
Very good. Got to have enough extra hose, enough slack, because what could potentially happen if I don't have my 6 to 10 foot tail? Look at the outlet and the way that direction is facing. That rig going that way, so that 4-inch hose has to connect, has to come around and make a sharp bend to go down this way. If I've only got a 2 or 3 foot tail, can you see what potentially is going to happen? I'm going to connect it, and that hose is going to go like this and like that. When I go to charge it, it's probably going to have a substantial kink there. Are you going to be able to pull back 300-400 feet of charged 4-inch hose back this way to get that kink out? No. You're not going to be able to.